Amanda Stancavage, and I'm here at Knoebels with my best friend to talk to you today about some amazing facts about Nikola Tesla, one of the guys that history has forgotten, and we're going to tell you about him today.
I'm Mercedes Conway, and the first thing we want to tell you about Nikola Tesla is that he was born in the country of Serbia. He was born with a mother who was a at-home mother, but his father was a priest. During his birth there was actually a lightning storm, and the midwife said this is going to be a child of darkness because it was storming, but his mother refused and said no, he will be a child of the light.
But now, it's time for boats!
Nikola Tesla did exceptionally well. He was a very smart student in Serbia and in Austria too. He excelled and got many scholarships, but he wasted all the money when he became a gambler. He was very good at pool, very good at cards, so he lost all his money and had to drop out.
If you talked about Tesla to even an educated person, the odds are they probably won't know who you're talking about. Tesla's not a very well-known scientist. He's one of the guys who was really, really popular in his time, but now all of his inventions, all of his schemes, all of his plans have been taken by other people. And so he's kind of been lost to the history books, which is really sad considering that whole big debacle with Edison. More about that later.
So, speaking of falling, obviously, Nikola Tesla helped design and invent the first hydroelectric power plant. Where is it located? In Niagara Falls, New York, of course. Or Niagara Falls, Canada, depending on how you like to view that.
One of the cooler inventions that he did was cryogenic engineering. It's not the cryogenesis that you think of when, you know, people get freezed for a million years and then come back when technology is amazing. Now, this was the cryogenesis that, like, you would cool down metal using liquid air, and then that metal would be more conducive to electricity, so that you could charge things better, that things would be easier workable with electricity, which was what Tesla was all about.
Nikola Tesla didn't love women, but while he was kind of asocial and not very flirtatious with anybody, he did happen to love birds though. Not any birds though, just in fact, he loved pigeons. He loved to go to Bryant Park in New York and feed the pigeons, so much so that if he was too ill to go and do it himself, he would pay someone else to go do it for him. So Tesla came up with the idea for an alternate current where he was in Budapest with a friend. They were walking through a park, reciting poetry back and forth with each other, and suddenly he's like, I've got a vision. So he takes a stick, writes in the dirt, and there he designed his plan for alternate current. But the most interesting part about this is that the reason he could remember that later is because he had a photographic memory.
Besides having a photographic memory, Tesla was able to learn so many languages. I have them written down, so ignore my paper. English, Serbo-Croatian, Czech, German, French, Hungarian, Italian, and Latin. And Hungarian is one of the world's hardest languages. And it's cool because not only did he have a photographic memory to retain all of those languages, he also could retain all of his inventions in his mind. So he didn't have to write anything down. While that's cool for him, it's bad for us because we have no way to reinvent or redo any of his inventions. And
there are two major inventions that you should know him for though. Have you ever heard of the man Thomas Edison?
No!
You see, or should say even, only you can defeat the myth of Edison. What happened was, Thomas Edison was recommended to use Nikola Tesla in his factories and his design work, and Edison told Nikola Tesla, I will give you $50,000 if you can improve and fix the problems I'm having with my direct current engines. Tesla took on the opportunity, and he in fact did fix and improve said engines. And when Nikola Tesla asked for the money he had been promised, since he wasn't a very charismatic man, he had a lot of issue with getting funds for his research. When he asked for the money that he had been promised, Edison said, I can't give you anything but your wages. Edison told him, one day you'll understand American humor, because that's what all it was.
He was a jerk bag! You know, Tesla's a great guy, but there's some things that, you know, weren't so great about him. For example, he was insane. Like, we'll talk about this later, but he had some crazy things going on in his life. For example, he hated numbers that weren't divisible by 3. he was also like, he didn't like jewelry, he didn't like round things, and he hated human hair. It was kind of weird. But he even sent his secretary home for wearing a pearl necklace, I think it was? Yeah, a pearl necklace. And he sent her home for the day, because he's like, I can't work with you around. You're wearing this thing, it's getting on my nerves, get out of here.
Nikola Tesla also invented the radio, at least the way we transmit it. You can't invent radio waves, they were already there. But he invented the ways that they were transmitted, but it's also often credited to a man called Marconi. And here's what happened. Marconi got the patent because he was funded by two very wealthy, very famous men. Thomas Edison, once again, and a man called Andrew Carnegie, or as you might know, Carnegie Hall. He was funding Edison at the time, and so together the two funded Marconi for his patent for the radio. Later in life though, in 1943, the Supreme Court decided to turn over the decision to give the patents to Marconi and gave them back to Tesla when they found out that Tesla had been using these radio transmissions long before Marconi had.
Tesla was also mentioned in one of the most popular books that I've read in a while, by Scott Westerfeld. It's called Goliath. It's about people flying in giant hot air balloons that are actually made of animals. But anyway, it was mentioned, Tesla was mentioned in that book because he was a villain, which isn't so surprising considering he wanted to build a death ray in his older years.
In one of my favorite movies, The Prestige, starring Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale, Tesla is also actually in that movie too. He actually invents a machine for Hugh Jackman's character for a magic show. But it turns out, spoiler alert, that magic isn't magic at all. It's real. And so, in this movie, Nikola Tesla is played by the all-famous 80s pop star, David Bowie.
Glitter everywhere! Nikola Tesla is most known for his Tesla coils. While they are a great contribution to science, think about more long-term. I mean, without electricity, a lot of us would be down and out. Like, seriously. I mean, a lot of people don't even think about surviving without their cell phone or their iPhone, which uses a wireless kind of connectivity that Nikola Tesla first invented, or first discovered, whatever you want to call it. So, he's a really important guy when you come to think about it. And there are tons of inventors who haven't been discovered yet. Not discovered, but are not remembered for the great things that they have done.
You could say without Tesla, we just might be in the dark. But Tesla brought light into the world. He was actually known for using his fluorescent lighting before anybody else had recorded the patent. He also had used neon tubes of lighting for the World's Fair to spell out his own name. It's very famous. Nikola Tesla had a lot of famous good friends. He was friends with writers like Rudyard Kipling and Mark Twain. Also, he was friends with a conservationist named John Muir and poet Robert Underwood Johnson.
Tesla didn't sleep much. He actually only got 2 or 3 hours of sleep a night because he was too into science.
Tesla really liked remote controls. In fact, he invented the idea of using remote controls to make things move. Like, he had a remote control boat, which one day led to the invention of the remote control tanks that were used in World War II.
You know, there's a video game out there called Hatoful Boyfriend where it's a pigeon dating sim game. It's freaky. Tesla lived it.
Nikola Tesla got his United States citizenship in 1891. He worked in the states of New York and Colorado. Nikola Tesla Tesla walked away from possibly being one of the richest men of the world. Why did he do this? Because one of his funders, George Westinghouse, who you might know from the Westinghouse Electric Company, he used Tesla's AC designs to just basically power his own electric company, which during the current wars of Westinghouse versus General Electric, which was run by Edison in case you didn't know, AC, the alternate current that Tesla had come up with, won the current wars, and so it's all because of him. But fearing bankruptcy, Westinghouse asked Tesla if he could possibly just forgive all the royalties, and Tesla didn't get 1 cent from the royalties that he should have deserved. He could be one of the richest men in the world, but he didn't do that because Tesla believed in doing the things he did for humanity, not because of anything else like riches or fame.
So, you know, Tesla didn't just invent like all these electrical devices. He also invented something that could have been really, really useful at that current time. This was during the war. They had trouble finding the German U-boats, as you might have remembered from American history class. But when he went to the government, when he went to the army to offer his new thing, they said, we can't use it. Thomas Edison was the guy in charge of that, and he said, it's not going to be useful for the war. Years later, some other guy, whose name I can't remember, came up with it, and now darkness. It wasn't until later that they found out that, you know, Tesla was actually the co-author of that. Sonar, radar, sonar.
So Nikola Tesla is, of course, passed away now. He was cremated, and his ashes are actually kept in a gold orb in the Nikola Tesla house or museum in Serbia, where he was born, even though he became an American citizen. And finally, we come to you together to let you know that Nikola Tesla
Was a total babe.
a total babe.
Oh my goodness, have you seen his photos?
Ugh, why do you think we have t-shirts with him on them?
Oh my goodness. He is a killer, lady killer. He was really popular with the ladies, but he didn't like them. He was celibate for science, which is the hardest core geekery ever.
You go, Tesla, you go.
That just happened?
We are the worst at this!
That happened. This is the best ride ever, but
George Whitehouse.
Lunch, Tesla lunch, lunch Tesla. Blah, blah.
I'm not gonna yawn again.
Don't say that on video!